Hello and welcome to the third episode of 100 What Ifs. My name is Andy of Inflections, and for today's episode I'm in collaboration with Brick Wall Sounds. Brick Wall Sounds is a professional service that specializes in audio editing. This is not mixing for those of you who are less familiar with music terminology. See, when you're mixing, you're creating and shaping the sound of the instruments to blend them together, or to make certain parts stand out or pop. And the end result is usually something where the instruments are more defined, clear, smoother, and more rounded and controlled to make a more comfortable listening environment, or to represent what the song's intentions are, emotionally, sonically, or just musically. Editing is the process of making the music gel together more accurately, by correcting the timing of all of the instruments, by correcting the pitch of all of the instruments, and by removing any blemishes, pops, or clips that you might find within the audio tracks. Doing this is a long process which might take a bit too much time for certain artists who have busy schedules. So yourself, for example, you might be busy working on all of your music and you want to get straight down to mixing, or you want to get straight to that release date as quickly as possible, in which case you might want a separate company to take on the long, painstaking process of editing all of your tracks. The guys at Brick Wall Sounds are great for this specific process and I highly recommend them. Charlie, who I was speaking to, was very friendly, very invested in our project, and their editing work was to a professional standard. Simply record your tracks, send them over, and they will come back very quickly, fully edited. Watch on to see their handiwork. So, on the subject of editing, time alignment and pitch correction are regarded as more modern production techniques. If they were used before digital recording was the norm, then they certainly weren't very well practiced techniques, especially in old rock and metal. So the question put forward today is, what if these new, modern production techniques were used for older music? Would they sound better or would they sound worse? I had to be very careful with my choice of song here. Just because obviously I'm applying modern production techniques, I didn't want to pick a revered classic to experiment on, just because it's timeless and it shouldn't be touched, in my opinion. The song that I picked was Over My Head by King's X. It's not necessarily a song that's known for having the older production techniques, but it's a song that has more of that jam element to it. By jam element, I mean more improvised vocal melody, which will change with each take. And usually with these songs, they're based around a single motif, or in this case, a banging riff, that thrives on the groove of the song. The argument put forth by some is that if you time align the drums, the bass, and the guitar, and you pitch correct the vocals, then that takes the soul out of the music. That, because it's adjusted to be perfect, it takes any character out of the performance. The benefit of editing with these techniques is that there are no blemishes, it's a clean product, and you have the safety of knowing that there are no timing issues or flaws in pitch. This works really well for the music industry because it guarantees a professional sounding song, regardless of your talent as a performer. Is it cheating? Do you half-ass a performance and just have it edited to glory? Or do you do the best take that you can and edit out the little blemishes or imperfections that are in the track? So, King's X. For this video, I decided to record two different tracks. So one of them was recorded to a click track with two different guitars panned left and right and the solo in the middle, and with the vocals I patched up the best of 3 takes, which was sent to Brick Wall Sounds, which they edited. They time aligned everything to a click track, which is all the instruments and the vocals, and they pitch corrected the vocals, and they took out any potential pops or clicks within the track and sent them back to me. The second track was just a live whole one take of each instrument, as if it was done as a live band, just all being recorded together, which is something that I can't do. If I could duplicate myself another 3 times, then I would, but I can't. So I have to treat this as I'm just doing one whole take with each instrument layered over the top, as if it was a band playing together. And there is no editing whatsoever. So there's no pitch correction on the vocals. There's no time aligning of any of the instruments, and everything is just played as it was recorded, with all of the mistakes kept in. Also, both of the songs will be mixed identically. So the only difference is that in the jam track, the guitar is just one mono signal that has been reamped on one side and made left and right stereo as opposed to just being in the center. Anyway, let's get started. We're going to begin with the edited version of the song first. I would just like to say once again a big thanks to Brick Wall Sounds for providing the edits for this track. They did an absolutely killer job. Okay, right, let's go. So that was the edited version of the track. Now this one is the track that doesn't include playing to a click track. There's no time alignment, there's no pitch correction for the vocals, and everything is just recorded as one take with all of the mistakes included. I would just like to go on record to say that I don't practice nearly enough to be considered a lead guitarist. So when it comes to the guitar solos in this song, there are a few blemishes. I'll just say that. Okay, here we go. So those were the two tracks. One of them was edited and the other one was completely jammed. Which one did you prefer? Did you hear any difference in the vibe at all? If I had to choose between the two for a completed project, I would go with the edited track as it is more professional and more ready for the public. Personally, my philosophy on time aligning and pitch correcting is that it isn't as blasphemous as people make it out to be when it's used in moderation. A great analogy that I read for this was comparing it to the idea of adding salt to your food. So if your cooking is great to begin with, then it doesn't necessarily need salt, but if you were to add a little bit of it on top, it can make a great meal even better. The problem lies in when your cooking is bad in the first place and you add a lot of salt to mask the flavor. And essentially what you're doing then is you're using the salt to mask up your bad cooking, and it's still bad. It doesn't make it any better. So if you've got a good performance to start with, then you don't necessarily need it. But if you were to do a little bit of editing on top of that, then you can make a great performance even better without taking out the soul. So I believe both philosophies, that a live take can also be tight and perfect in its own way. I also believe that slightly editing a track where it's needed doesn't take out the soul or the character of a performance. Let me know what you guys think. I want to hear your opinion on whether you prefer tracks to be slightly edited, or if you think that it should be just as it is recorded, and if it needs any correction, it should be done in the recording. There are lots of different varying opinions on this, and I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. Thanks once again to Charlie and Brickwall Sounds for providing the audio for the edited track in this video. Go to them if you need any editing done on your tracks. They do not disappoint. Right, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Have a good one.